Hey guys. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. It is ridiculously early this morning, but this is when I can do it, when my kids are asleep and there's some quiet. So last night I was kind of playing around with some of my book cloth scraps, just making a little charm, and I thought, why not bring you guys along for a little mini book. And this does have, slide this off, pull them up so you can see. It does have little pages, and this I just did with book cloth, and it's not like a hard, what am I trying to say? It's not like a hard case-bound book. There's not a hard spine. I just did, the stitching through the book cloth. But today, I think I want to do one that's kind of, case-bound. So a hard front and back and spine piece, and then we'll do a little Coptic stitch for the block, if I can get this back on here. And then I just put a little key charm there on the back. So let's go through it. This is another great project to use up some scraps on. If you have, little like cutoffs where you've made book covers with cardboard or, something like a heavy cardstock, this is great, even if you've made tags with these. This isn't thick enough that I would want to use it for like a large book. It's not sturdy enough like bookboard would be. But I use this for tags all the time, and then you've got, little cut-off pieces from your tags, so you can make, your little front and back covers and your spine pieces out of those. So that's really nice to use up a bit of those kind of scraps too, where maybe they're not quite big enough for a tag. What do you do with it then, right? So I cut these to be 1.5 tall and 1.25 wide, and then my little spine piece is going to be 1.5 tall by 1/4 of an inch wide. So you'll need two of the 1.5 by 1.25. And then I got a few more little paper bits out here. I think that today we might work on the cover, and then we can go through the Coptic stitching binding, because that takes a little bit of time. We'll see. We'll see. These, I'm going to use this on the inside covers, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Or I might use this. This is from a book that I gutted, and these were the end papers. And I love it. So we might use that too. For book cloth, I have these two. And I'm not sure which one I want to use. I'm kind of liking this red. But if I do the red, do I really want this on the inside? I don't know. I kind of like that better with that. But I really like this red, so we'll see. And I am going to be putting some book cloth up in my Etsy shop. If any of you guys would be interested in that, leave a comment down below with different patterns and colors and vintage fabrics and things like that. So let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in. For those of you that don't know, book cloth is cotton or cotton poly blend fabric that is usually backed with like a really thin paper backing, an acid-free thin paper backing. So and I do have a video, I will link it down below, on how you can make your own, kind of, a way that you can make your own functional for what we do, so that the glue, when you put the glue on your book cover or a tag or what have you, and then you go to put the fabric on top and the glue leaks through the fabric, how annoying that is. This keeps that from happening because you have this thin paper backing. So again, I'll link the video down below on how you can make it yourself, but if this is something that you would be interested in seeing in my shop, let me know in the comments. Yeah. Let's see. Hope you guys are all doing well. I know I am. I think I'm going to use the red. That's what we're going to do. And I need some glue. Alright. So I'm just going to put glue all over my little cardboard bit. Spread it out really well. If you've got a brush with glue, that works awesome. I do not. I don't know where it is. It's ran away. You know how our things do that. And it will come home when it wants. And I'm going to place this with, you know, a little bit of overhang of my book cloth, because I want to be able to wrap it around after it's dry. There's that one. And this little spine piece, we're going to do the same thing. Glues it. And then we're going to place it, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch away. Just a little bit of a space. I might actually use this. I'm just going to use this to make sure that it's the same height. Yeah. Just a little bit, so that when we fold it, typically what you would, if you're going to measure it, right, it would be the thickness of both of these pieces stacked on top of each other. That's how wide you want your gusset to be at minimum, so that when they fold together, they don't run into each other and collapse your spine. But I love these kind of little mini ones because they're so forgiving. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna use this. I'm just using this again to make sure that they're all the same height. And then we want this little gusset to be the same. Yeah, these mini books, just little charm books, or you could use them as a pendant on a necklace, are so nice in that they are, like if there's little errors, you don't even notice. Or they just add character to it, you know? Put my glue pin back on. And if you find that whatever you're using for this is like starting to warp from the glue, you can stack a book on it. It dries so quickly, you could stack a book on it. That'll help keep it flat. And then we are just going to get all the glue off the table. We're just going to cut around with leaving the same amount of gap. You can use a straight edge. I'm just going to use my scissors. Cut a little piece off. And then we are also going to pull these corners a bit. And just trim off the corners like that. You don't want to go all the way to the edge of the cardboard. For those of you that have not covered a book yet. Otherwise, when you wrap it around, your book corner will be naked. It'll kind of poke out. So you want to leave, let me see if I can, these are so tiny, but let me see if I can show you. See how you don't want to go all the way to the edge? Whoop. You want to leave a little bit of fabric right there at the corner. on. Sorry if I like went out of frame doing that. Okay. All right. And now what we can do is we're going to put glue on all of these edges here. Guess I could be doing that. Put glue, make sure you get it right there at the edge as well, but all over these flaps. And then we are just going to coax it over. This part is a little bit trickier than larger books because this flap is so small. It doesn't always want to grab, but this glue rocks and dries so quickly. I will say be careful with your fingers, like on the front cover, that you don't get runaway glue on there, because that can be a pain. Let me grab my... Oh heaven, which drawer? Here it is. It's my glue bone folder. Yes, I have a separate one. I feel like if you don't have a separate one, you need a separate one for glue. Because they aren't that expensive, but man, when I'm folding, you know, paper and running my bone folder across it and it's like full of glue, that's so frustrating. So kind of like cutting blades. I have one for fabric and I have one for paper. I have a bone folder for glue and a bone folder for paper. Oh man. I don't know if any of you guys, where all of you guys are from, if any of you guys are in the Midwest, we are dealing with some snow. Snow. But I can't complain because we really haven't had a lot of it this year. At all. It's been a very mild winter. I'm in Indiana, so we have not really had too much. Which is good for me. Ugh. Because I work in landscaping. Well, in growing, not in install, but work in landscaping, so it's been a good winter for our landscapers to still be able to kind of go through and do what they need to do, which means it's a good season for my plants because they're not sitting in my greenhouses. All right, there's two sides down. And then as you're folding these in, I'm kind of tucking those little bits that we left, right, on the corners. You just kind of tuck them in. Use your fingernail or your, you know, in larger books I use my bone folder, but these are so tiny. And again, that just helps to cover that corner. And then we can do the long sides. If your glue takes a long time to dry, you can, you know, apply it like this and then just let it sit for a second. You know, kind of let it start to set up, right? And then fold it over. That way you're not trying to hold it for quite as long, if you want. Some of those really wet glues do take a minute, so. Sorry if I shook you. Wake up out there. Need my little stylus. Usually I use my bone folder. But again, these are so little. I'm just kind of pushing that down into the gusset there. All right, last side. Man, oh man. I am recording this on a Sunday. We have been in Florida for over a week. So, you know, visiting family. My parents live down there. My husband's grandmother lives down there. So, you know, we went down to kind of visit and help her out a little bit. And we're back now, and the kids are not stoked about, ooh, sorry if I hit you again with my hair. The kids are not stoked about going back to school. I mean, they want to see their friends, but they don't want to wake up. Especially now, because we've got snow and ice and freezing rain and all that mess. Who wants to stand out in the bus for that? I didn't. Although, I don't know about where you guys live, but where we live, they don't have to, like, walk to a bus stop. The bus stops in front of every child's house, which is crazy to me. You know, because we had to walk and stand at a corner somewhere. So it sucked. Whereas my kids can, you know, stay in the garage until they see the bus down the street and then run out. It's crazy. I mean, I'm glad that they don't have to walk anywhere. They can just be at home. But all right, so there's our little cover. I'm gonna run. You can kind of feel the gussets in the back. The book cloth is nice, like I said, since the glue doesn't come through, and it has a bit more structure than just regular cloth. Look how cute that is. And then when we do our text block, we will use this as end papers. I think I still like the red. I think I'm gonna go for it. What do you think? Where should I put this? Oh no, I like the green too. What are we gonna do? I don't know, we'll figure it out. Okay. Next up is papers for the inside. And I have pulled a bunch of scrappies, little pieces that I've cut off making tags, or, you know, this is when I was cutting pages down for signatures in a larger book. So you can use a bunch of these in these tiny little charm booklets. But size-wise, let's see. So we made these 1.5 tall. So I am going to make the pages 1 3/8. I need to write this down. All right. Oh my God, I keep hitting you. What is this? I don't know. I think this is a tag. Oh my gosh. Pencil. 1 3/8. And then each, so like, what did we say? 1.5. So I'm gonna make the text block 1 1/8. And what I'm doing, I guess I can show you. These are about 1.5 tall. So if I make it 1 3/8, that'll leave like a 1/16 around the whole edge. If you can see, if I make it 1 1/16, it'll leave just a little bit around. And same here. So these are 1 1/4. And if I make my pages 1 1/8, which would be like this line, then it'll leave a little bit around this edge as well. So 1 1/8 for 2 sides would actually be 2 1/4. So I will cut the papers 2 1/4 by 1 1/8. Let's see here. I'm actually going to use my cutting mat for this instead of my paper trimmer, because some of these papers, one, are old, and it worries me that my paper trimmer will just completely demolish them. And they're really small, so I find it just a lot easier to do it this way. Let's see how wide these are. These are 1.5 wide, which is about how tall I need it. So, let's make these 2.25. Grab my rotary. I love rotary trimmers. So I do a lot of quilting as well. And I never used a rotary trimmer in my paper crafting. And they're just so much easier. Oh my goodness. If you haven't done it, you need to. Try it out. So now I'm doing the 1 1/8. And then when we fold it in half, let's test it. Oh, that's small. I don't like that. What is happening? Oh, it's 1 3/8. Guys, look. I even wrote it down. 1 3/8 by 2.25. I still can't get it right. Heavens, Lauren. All right. So how wide was this? Let's try it again. Can't. Apparently I need some more coffee today. Maybe I'll do that now. Okay, 1 3/8 long. That's what we're, no, 2.25. I'm telling you. There. Oh, that's almost perfect. It just clears the old binding holes. 1 3/8. 1 2 3. There we go. I knew this video was going to be a long one, and here we go. It's going to be even longer because I just cannot get it right. Okay, let's try this again. Shall we? I feel like this is the most time-consuming part. It's just cutting all the papers down. I promise I won't make you sit through it. Ah, there we go. So those will get bound and put in there just like that. I think that'll be perfect. All right. Well, like I showed you, I've got a ton of papers here, cutoffs and, book pages and, all kinds of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is go through. I'm going to make a bunch of these, and I'm just going to kind of play around with the signatures. I'll probably only put maybe 4 pieces of paper per signature, and then I'll just stack them up until they kind of fit in this spine. And because it's just trial and error, because I really don't know. So I will be back after I get all of these cut up, and then we will do the Coptic stitching for it. All right, I'll see you soon.